Okay, today we are starting with a chapter of benefits management, and this is the third domain. First domain was strategy alignment. First domain was strategy alignment. We finished yesterday, and today is the second domain, which is benefit management. Benefit management has its own life cycle, and you have to map it on the life cycle and the governance mechanism. You remember I had shown you a diagram earlier in which the governance mechanism was shown on top, and on underneath that there was the life cycle, program life cycle, and then the benefit management life cycle, benefit life cycle was also shown. So we will be discussing here the benefit management. In benefit management, we are going to be covering it in these headings. First of all, benefit identification, in which the benefit register will be discussed. Benefit analysis and planning. This is the second phase of benefit management. In this, we will be talking about benefit management planning, benefit management and the program roadmap, the relationship, and the benefit register update, which the benefit register we had created in identification. Naturally, that is going to be a living document, and benefit register has to be updated in light of the analysis and planning. Then we move on to the benefit delivery. In benefit delivery, we will look at it from two perspectives: program benefits and program components, and program benefits and program governance. So one, we will compare it with the program components, and then we will be looking at it from the angle of program governance. 4.4 is the benefit transition. That is normally happening during the closure life cycle, stage of the life cycle of the program. Benefit transition and benefit sustainment are happening there. Transition is handing over process of the benefits to the customer or the organization, and sustainment is that we do have a sustainment plan, as if we can hand it over to whomsoever we are handing over, and that sustainment mechanism could be followed as if no break occurs, and the benefits can be managed continuously even after you have left. So the program benefit management is naturally the performance domain, the second performance domain, which comprises of a number of elements and that are central to the successful conduct of the program. So you have seen in the index that there are 5 basic stages of benefits. First, we identify the benefit, then we analyze and plan them, then we deliver them, and then we transition and sustain them. Program benefit management includes processes to clarify the program's planned benefits and intended outcomes. So, what are we talking about? We are talking about the planned benefits and intended outcomes. Both of these things are at the stage of planning. So, when we conceive what all benefits this program is going to bring about, that conception, that planning, that sense is what the benefits are compared with later. Naturally, the planned benefits are at that stage of planning, and naturally, outcomes also are intended outcomes are also planned in the analysis and planning. And naturally, they include processes to monitor the program ability to deliver against these benefits and outcomes. So we have created a kind of a uh, benchmark, or for that matter, what do you call it? Baseline. So once we have planned the benefits and the intended outcomes, we have created a baseline for the benefits and intended outcomes. And now in monitoring, we are going to ensure that things are happening according to our baseline. And that ability to deliver benefits according to that baseline is being monitored, and this is done against that baseline of benefits and outcomes. Purpose of program benefit management thus is to focus on program stakeholders. That is a really very important factor. And the next chapter is all about program stakeholders. So, first of all, you must understand who all are the program stakeholders. And then naturally, we have to develop a plan to get them engaged and keep them engaged. So generally speaking, who all are the program stakeholders? Naturally, you can look at it from various angles, but generally speaking, looking at program towards the direct stakeholder, the program sponsor is the very first stakeholder who is creating this program, who is bringing it into being. Then the program manager, whomsoever is assigned. Then the project managers who are coming under the program manager, then program team and the naturally project team also, program governance board and other program stakeholders, which may include the customer, the whole organization, internal or external stakeholders, key stakeholders and otherwise. So all these stakeholders are going to be the program stakeholders. Generally speaking, these are all the people or organization who are in some way affected by or can affect the consequence of the program. And what is the consequence of the program? That is the outcomes and benefits. So they can have some impact on the intended outcomes and the planned benefits to be provided by the various activities conducted during the program's duration. So what are those various activities? Generally, we call them the program activities, and other components like sub-programs and projects. So these all has to be done through these activities. So what does program benefit management include? What does it employ? So we have got a number of things to be doing. First of all, in the very beginning, we have to understand what benefits are to be reaped out of this program. Naturally, that is related with the organizational strategy, and then translating that strategy into short-term goals and objectives for the program, and identifying and assessing the value and impact of the program benefits, right? So we are trying to identify the benefits. We are trying to ascertain the value of each benefit and see the impact on the overall program benefit. So we are here talking about all the benefits, and ultimately we are going to create from all the benefits, we are going to consolidate that into program benefits. So each benefit we identify, we have to develop a relationship. We have to ascertain its value. We have to see that benefits impact onto the program benefit, because basically why are we doing this program is to deliver the program benefit. Then monitor the interdependencies between the outputs being delivered by the various projects. So every project is delivering something, some deliverable or some output or outcome, when the program and how those outputs contribute overall to the program's benefit. So all these deliverables, outputs are the benefits coming out of the program, which are the outcomes, outputs and outcomes, how do they translate into the program benefit. Third, we analyze the potential impact of planned program changes on the expected benefits and outcomes. So whenever there is a change in the project, we have already planned how to bring the change, but when that change is to be brought, naturally the impact of various changes would be on the benefits and the outcomes of the individual projects or the components, and that will subsequently be impacting the program benefits. So we have to ascertain that potential impact, and this is kind of a risk management we would be doing, what all can happen to us. Then assign responsibility and accountability for the realization of the benefits. Somebody should be held responsible. The responsibilities must be distributed to the people who have to ensure the delivery of those benefits. For example, a project manager is assigned, that is one responsibility, and he has given uh, the responsibility to achieve the target of the project and are to create a benefit out of it. Align the expected benefits with the organization goals and objectives. Now we are talking about the expected benefits, whether they are coming out of the projects or the components and incrementally being delivered to the organization, then we have to align them directly with the organizational goals and objectives. And if we are consolidating the benefits, then the consolidated benefit is going to be aligned with the organizational goals and objectives. Lastly, assign the responsibility and accountability for the realization of the benefit. Who is responsible for realization of those benefits? Normally, it is a program level issue. So it is provided by the program and ensure that the benefits can be sustained. That is the most important thing, because once the benefit has been realized and they are being delivered, at that point we have to transition them and then ensure that they can be sustained by whomsoever is taking over. So generally, this is a summary of what all will be done by the benefit management. What is a benefit? A benefit is the gain and assets realized by the organization and other stakeholders as the result of outcome delivered by the program. So what are the ultimate gains and assets which we would be achieving at the end of the day? That could be the benefits coming out of the projects or components or the overall program benefit. Here, what it is mentioning is the overall program benefit. So this is the outcome delivered by the program. Program is giving this benefit out. A benefit is an outcome of actions and behaviors. So to achieve that benefit, we have to do some actions. Some components have to be done. Some program activity has to be done. That will provide utility, value, and a positive change to the intended recipient. So ultimately, the person who is going to take over that benefit will actually gain or assets is handed over to that person. Some benefits are relatively certain, easily quantifiable, and may include concrete and finite conditions. That is, when things are very, very clear, such as the achievement of an organization's financial objective. So, if you are told that you have to increase the revenue by 20%, then this is very specific. So, if we are very clear about it, then we can compare against it. So we are certain that we have to reach the target of 20% revenue increase, and this is easily quantifiable. We can, maybe on yearly basis or half yearly basis, we can reassess our position and see how well we are going. So there could be concrete or finite conditions here, but uh, the creation of physical product or service for consumption or utility could also be there. So maybe the benefit we are trying to deliver is in shape of a large service. Maybe we are, uh, you know, developing a, you know, mission to NASA, a mission by NASA, and that mission is going to Mars. Maybe that could be one huge product or the service which we are providing, and there could be a lot of uncertainty in that as well. Other benefits may be less easily quantifiable. This is, I'm talking about the benefits which cannot easily be quantified and may produce somewhat uncertain outcomes. For example, less certain program outcomes may include an improvement in employee morale. If you cannot specify how much improvement in employee morale is required, then there is an element of uncertainty into it. Or you say customer satisfaction is your target, how much customer satisfaction? If that cannot be defined, then there is an element of uncertainty. So this may include a benefit such as the reduced incidence of a health condition or disease. So that means you have to translate the basic benefit into some quantifiable terms. If at all this cannot be quantified on any scale, then probably we have to come up with a scale. We have to use the Likert scale. We may say that, on a scale of 1 to 5 or 1 to 10, where we are and what we need to achieve. Or we may have to break down the benefit into sub benefits and assign those kind of scales for each one of those. And they can also serve as the KPIs for the program. Various types of benefits may be defined and generated by programs. Some benefits such as expanded market presence, improved financial performance, or operational efficiencies. You see, yes, these are benefits, but these are not very specific benefits until and unless I can somehow make them quantifiable. Uh, these are going to be uncertain. When I say expanded market presence, uh, that does not really say how much are we going to expand, right? So if somehow I can explain it or break it down into further parts which could be explained, uh, until that time it remains very uncertain. Improved financial performance and operational efficiency, these are also similar kind of benefits, and they may be realized by the organization performing the program, while other program benefits may be realized by the organization's customers or the program's intended beneficiaries. So that means during the life cycle of the program, naturally it's a long life cycle, and we have a target to say 20% of revenue increase we have to do during the life of the program. But what about when we hand over this advantage or this benefit to the customer? How does he sustain this? First of all, the transition must be smooth. Secondly, this 20% raise in revenue must at least be kept at that level, or maybe it could be projected further to 30, 40, 50%. So if I have given that pace, given that sustainment to the customer, only then the benefit can be properly transferred and the delivery is complete. Regulatory changes may require the initiation of a program. The realized benefits from regulatory compliance programs may be harder to identify. These benefits may be limited to compliance, avoidance of fines, and avoidance of adverse publicity. So just imagine you have some such like benefit to achieve. You have to comply with some industry standard. So although we understand that compliance may have a lot of work involved, but we are not, doing something like 20% increase in revenue. The challenge is less and the benefit is kind of invisible. But if we do not achieve this, then probably our organization's output would be rejected. Our product would be rejected because we are not in compliance with the industry standard. So compliance may be the benefit we are trying to achieve through the program. Or maybe we are doing certain activities to avoid the fines. So again, we are not going over the mark. We are just trying to maintain ourselves at a level where we may not be fined for any mistakes. Our avoidance of adverse publicity is a similar kind of a thing, that we have to just remain below the bar and we should not exceed it in any way. Customers and beneficiaries. These customers and beneficiaries may include the operational or functional areas within the performing organization or may be external to the performing organization. And external, I have been giving you the example of the ultimate beneficiary, which is a customer, or internally, we can have our own organization taking advantage or, uh, you know, the benefit being utilized by the own organization, such as a specific group of interested parties. They could be the customer or beneficiary. A business sector could be a beneficiary. Our industry should could be a customer or the beneficiary. A particular demographic, maybe all people below the age of 40, they are the beneficiary, or the general population. So general population, that is normally the government projects are for the public good. So maybe you want to give the free health services to the general public of your country. So that could be a program. Benefits are often defined in the context of intended beneficiary, whomsoever is going to make use of that benefit, who will be benefited by that benefit. That intended beneficiary must be kept in mind and may be shared between multiple stakeholders. While the lives of the organization's customers and program's intended beneficiaries may be improved in some way as a result of the program, the performing organization may also benefit from the new or improved capability to consistently deliver and sustain the resulting product, service, or capability produced. So, as I had been saying, naturally, customer is the ultimate beneficiary. That is the intended beneficiary. That customer should be satisfied. They should get the benefit. But at the same time, our organization, which is performing, which is actually doing this program, why are they doing this program? If the beneficiary is a customer and customer is ultimately going to get that benefit, what my organization is getting. Naturally, my organization is not doing it for free. Either we are improving or building on our capability and enhancing our maturity, or we are being paid for it. In some way, we are also to benefit out of it. And why are we doing that? As if I am increasing my capability that I can consistently deliver and sustain the ultimate result. Okay, in some organizations, uh, it may stakeholders and intended beneficiaries may not realize the benefit from the program and may be subject to negative impacts, such as reduction in personnel or consolidation of position or organizations. So there are certain customers or beneficiaries, intended beneficiaries, who are going to be negatively impacted by the benefit. So they may not be realizing a benefit from the program and may be subject to something negative. Minimizing the negative impact is as important as realizing the benefit. So you see, I have three different intended beneficiaries. Two of them are actually benefiting from the program. One is at being adversely impacted. So I have somehow also to try to minimize the negative impact. Naturally, the two beneficiaries which are getting the positive impact, that is good. But as far as the negative impact is concerned, I should try to minimize it as much as possible. So it should be managed, measured, and properly communicated to the organization leadership and to especially to the affected stakeholders and organizations. There are two things. Number one, I should try to minimize their impact. If I can't, I could at least be transparent with that stakeholder as if I can set their expectations right that they are not going to get these benefits. They are going to be, affected by this program in this way. Maybe we are coming up with a new automated system by which naturally our organization is going to benefit, but there are a lot many people who are going to be fired due to this. The downsizing has to be done. So we can start preparing those people who are going to be fired as if either they can increase their skill to be employed in the new system, or they can look elsewhere for their future jobs. So program is not going to be giving the positive impact. Some beneficiaries, I would not like to say them beneficiaries because they are having the negative impact. Some customers will be impacted negatively. Program manager should consider coordinating with internal organizations such as the legal, marketing, and human resource department when addressing a negative consequence. because program is cannot take on the responsibility for the whole negative impact. Organization has to help the program manager extend the message to the affected customers or stakeholders. So we may need to have the organization's legal advisor to help us. What can legally be done? How can we be covered? How can we market our point of view? How the human resource department can handle. So all these people can guide the program manager, and they can get into a coordination process where they can decide how to minimize the impact of the negative consequences. Programs and their components deliver outcomes that provide benefits by enhancing current capability or developing new capability. So if we already have a system in place and we want to improve that system, we are enhancing our current capability. If we do not have a system in place and we are trying to do something new, then we will create a new capability. Or maybe if we have a system in place, but that has to be trashed and a new system has to take place, then again we are developing a new capability that support the organization's strategic goals and objectives. So this is how the program is going to deliver the benefit. So it has to be already defined whether we are going to be enhancing a current capability or we are going to be developing a new capability. So in both ways, we are basically delivering the benefit. Benefits may not be realized until the completion of the program. That is one way of looking at it, that we are getting into this program for a specific purpose of delivering a consolidated benefit at the end. So benefits may not be realized. If it is a consolidated benefit case, then benefits may not be realized until and unless the whole of the program has finished. Or sometimes it can be well after the completion. But this is just written in brackets because this is not always the case. The intended benefit generally gets delivered at the end of the program. Only then the program is declared closed. But yes, of course, when we deliver these benefits, there are other benefits which will ultimately be yielded due to sustainment, and that would be down the road. So they will be the benefits of this program due to this program, but they were not the intended benefits for the program. They are the projections of those benefits. So once we have handed over those benefits, the operations of the customers who have taken them over, they will be reaping those benefits ultimately. So they may be realized in an iterative fashion, right? So when we are talking about iterative delivery of the benefits, then it may not be at the completion of the program. They could have started even when the program is running and certain components of the program, projects, sub-programs, they are either completed or even when they have started. Let's first talk about completed. Our project in the program has completed and has now started delivering certain benefits. This is the increment delivery. So those benefits will be moving on directly to the customer, but they will also add up to the overall benefit of the organization of the program. And when this program is done and finished and the delivery is complete, then those benefits can even keep growing. They keep yielding and keep realizing even after the program has finished. So the benefits could start yielding as soon as a component has finished, or sometimes even when a component has started. Some benefits start getting realized as soon as a project within the program has started. So that is also one of the possibilities. So as the components within the program produce incremental results that can be leveraged by the intended recipients. So we have talked about the consolidated benefit as well as the incremental benefit. We said from the consolidated point of view, we said a program once completed can deliver the benefits. Then we said the benefits may be delivered even later in life after the program has finished. Then we talked about the iteration, and here we said the iterative benefits may start yielding as soon as a component has completed. And the other option is as soon as a component has started. So maybe a project has started and has started yielding benefits. So incremental benefits are being delivered right after a component has started. So all these options are possible for the realization of the benefits. Following program closure, benefits may continue to be realized. This we said in the very first part, where we said well after completion. So even the program has finished, the benefits continue to be realized. So program closure benefits may continue to be realized even after the program has finished. Program roadmap we have already discussed in the previous chapter, where we said program roadmap has to be created as part of the strategy alignment. And roadmap is dependent on the existence of a charter, the program charter, which previous version used to call the program mandate, which is obsolete term. Now we call it program charter. So roadmap is dependent on the charter, and program charter is dependent on the program business case. But here we are more concerned about, from the benefits point of view, we are more concerned about the program roadmap. And if you remember, I told you that a roadmap is something in between a timeline and a schedule. It is not as simple as a timeline, and it is not as complicated as a schedule. This is a basic level document which shows us what all has to be accomplished during the life of the program and how and when. So generally speaking, this is a kind of a benefit realization plan in general. Depending on the nature of program, the program roadmap may be defined to produce incremental benefits and begins to realize return on investment that may help fund future program benefits and outcomes. So roadmap shows me exactly how and when these things will happen. Just imagine a physical roadmap when you are traveling on road. So that roadmap tells you when to turn right, when to take a increase your tells you the distance between 2 points and all that. So basically, a program roadmap will also be doing almost the same. It will tell you what all benefits will be yielded at what point, what are the major milestones, and what are the generally the gap between time 2 points. It is also a general outlay. We can have idea about when those things will occur, but this is not as detailed as a schedule itself. About incremental benefits, we have talked a lot earlier. Let's emphasize a little more on it. It is important that as incremental benefits are being produced, the intended recipients, whether internal or external to the organization, are prepared for the resulting change and are able to sustain the incremental benefit through the completion of the program and beyond. If you are delivering the benefits incrementally throughout the life of the program, or even if you started delivering benefit even from within a project, it is the responsibility of the program manager, and through program activities he will ensure that these benefits are being properly handed over, delivered, transitioned, and sustained. Okay. So Frayal says a roadmap is a general benefits realization plan. Well, yes, you can say that, but as such, the term benefit realization plan is no more used in fourth edition. We now call it the benefit management plan. But yes, roadmap gives us a very clear indication, an outline indication when certain benefits will be realized. So that indication, if you want to call it the benefit realization plan, that is okay with me. But as such, benefit realization plan is no more a term used in the fourth edition. We do use the words benefit realization, but in the benefit realization plan, which was in, mentioned in the third edition, that actually speaks of the benefit management plan. So basically, that is one of the same thing. Yes, I agree with you that benefit realization uh, indication is there in the roadmap. It clearly indicates what, when, and what benefits are to be achieved. Okay. As far as consolidated benefits, we already talked about it. Some programs deliver benefits only after all of the component projects have been completed and the results have been consolidated. In this case, the project deliverables need to be integrated. All the project deliverables which are within the program, we keep receiving all those deliverables as and when they are created, and then we integrate them as if we can consolidate the benefits out of them in order to realize the full benefit. So once the full benefit is achieved, it is after consolidation, only then it can be delivered. So this is one way of looking at it, that if the benefit can only be delivered as a consolidated one. This example we have already given you in the previous chapter also. Programs that deliver the intended benefits at the end of the program, like major construction effort, the construction work will only be deemed complete when the whole structure is there. We can't say that I've completed the foundation, so you can start using the foundation. No. Yes, if you are creating something like agile construction, then probably you can do that. Because I have an example that in China, they have, if I'm not really wrong about it, they have constructed a 40-story hotel, and that was done in few days. And that 40-story hotel was, as soon as the ground floor blocks were completed, they were made operational. So they're incrementally delivered. And this was just like the jigsaw puzzle you do. They have pieces. They just the whole room is moved through a crane, and it fits into the building structure. So first they completed the bottom, the ground floor, and then they kept constructing the upper level while the hotel started functioning after the first floor was complete. So this could be example of incremental, but generally construction is consolidated effort. Work programs such as roads, dams, and bridges, generally they are considered to be consolidated. But naturally, if you do some little brainstorming, you can think of ways to making things iterative or agile, and that is a very interesting exercise. If you can somehow convert the generally known um, waterfall model things into agile model, so probably that could be very interesting. How can you construct a bridge which can start delivering the benefit while it is being constructed? Is it possible? Just a question for you. How do you imagine this can happen? A bridge is not complete, but how can it start delivering the benefits while it is being constructed? Yes, please.
While it is being done.
Yes, I'm talking about making it agile, making it incremental.
uh,
You have to think out of the box.
Only if I can put all the security and life-threatening pieces out of it, because
Okay.
they won't let you open anything today till it's been tried and tested for 101 things.
Yes. Generally
That is the
speaking,
issue.
generally I will agree with you that a bridge will only be made operational once it has been consolidated, right? But you know there are many kinds of bridges. There are many kinds of bridges, and some bridges are for fast construction, some are for long-term use. So there are many kinds of bridges, right? So what if I can somehow build a bridge which is basically uh, first gives you a basic bridge on which you can start moving the traffic, and while the main body of the bridge is built around it, which does not hinder the flow of traffic. And as you keep adding lanes to the bridge capacity keeps increasing. Probably, just on the top of my mind, I am just giving you a way a bridge could be incrementally delivered.
Oh, okay. So basically, what you're saying is maybe you open it lane by lane, sort of a thing. That
Yes,
you first
yes,
you have
exactly.
a.
Exactly. As soon as the basic structure is on, I have planned it in such a way that traffic should start flowing on it while I construct the remaining part of it. So maybe lane by lane, I can keep increasing it, and then I will consolidate the whole benefits. Ultimately, you know, the end user, the beneficiary will start getting benefits as soon as even first component of the project has started. Agreed?
Yeah, because if it's not gone all load bearing and there are other things as well, packaging components, they
Yes.
have many
Yes.
other components.
Actually, we have to give precedence to the security and all that. That is important. I can't forego that. But there could be many ways. You can be even more. I think uh, you can be more creative about it. You may say that while the bridge is being constructed, maybe there is a ferry service introduced by the contracted company, and they are transporting the vehicles across through the ferries while the bridge is being constructed. That could be, a little odd, but that could be one of the solutions. The only thing is, if you want to do something differently, you have to be a little bit of creative. And innovation only can happen if you are creative. That will always give rise to new way of doing things. But anyways, we were giving examples of consolidated benefits, and generally speaking, these kind of jobs are considered to be consolidated benefits, like construction jobs, aerospace, shipping, aircraft, medical devices, pharmaceuticals. Normally, this all depends upon the end result of that thing. So, therefore, they have to be consolidated. But why I have given you the alternate examples, how to make them incremental, is just to wake your mind up and make the possibility of incremental benefits from the consolidated ones. Okay, benefit sustainment. As far as the sustainment is concerned, benefit management also ensures that the benefits provided by the organization's investment in a program can be sustained following the conclusion of the program. You see, this is extremely important that whatever you do should be manageable and sustainable afterwards. It should not be something which is good enough only for its life. If program is running for 20 years and NASA has created a space program and that space program is safe only for the 20 years of the program, after that, that takes no responsibility, no security, no guarantee that this program will keep delivering benefits. So such like benefit is not required. The purpose was not to deliver the benefit only around the program. It was about the delivering the benefit from the long run to the operations. Throughout the program delivery benefit delivery phase, program components are planned, developed, integrated, and managed to facilitate the delivery of the intended program benefits. And intended program benefits are long term, are exceeding beyond the life of the program. During the program benefit delivery phase, the benefit analysis and planning activities, along with the benefit delivery activities, may be performed in an iterative fashion. So, if the delivery is iterative, then probably this iterative delivery would keep happening. While the components are being done, the benefit delivery is iteratively happening, especially if corrective action is required to achieve the program benefits. So that way we can keep doing it. And again, I would say Agile is an extremely good example for that. In Agile, we are time boxed. We have fixed times of short durations in which we have to accomplish something. And whatever we can accomplish during that time, the time will not increase. If there is a mistake in the job, you don't say that I'll give you 2 more days to do it. No, if it is 2 weeks slot, you will have only 2 weeks to do whatever you can. All the remaining work will have to be handled into another time box. Then benefits monitoring is again an important thing. Program benefits should be monitored and managed. Benefits should be considered an essential part of program deliverables. Naturally, benefits, uh, if they are properly monitored and managed, then we can see that how much are they in variance from the baseline. What were the intended benefits and what are the actual benefits and what is the difference. So if they are deviating, then we have to reanalyze that what is going to be the impact on the organizational goals and objectives if this benefit does not deliver as per the intended intentions. So we can move a change request, we can correct it, or we can decide to live by it. Benefits should be considered an essential part. A risk structure for the benefits need to be established based on the organization's risk appetite and the program's strategic value. I just said we can move a change request or we may not move a change request in case there is a deviation in intended benefits. Okay, when I say we may not, what does that mean? That means that we can bear this loss. We if our benefit is not achieved exactly according to the intention, we still have certain risk appetite within which we can absorb the shock. So in that way, we do not need to move a change request at all. We have decided to accept that much risk and we can live with it. So that would be basically defining the risk structure for the benefits which need to be established based on the organization's risk appetite and the program strategic value. Risk probability. Each program benefit need to be assigned a risk probability. So every benefit you must look at it with a perspective of doubt, a caution. What if this benefit, this specific benefit, I'm not talking about the overall benefit, I'm talking about a specific benefit. What if this specific benefit is not achieved? What will be the impact on the organizational strategy or the goals and objectives? Several factors may drive the probability, including the number of components needed to realize the benefit and the ability of the organization to absorb the change and sustain it. Absorb the change and sustain it means that we are ready to accept it. Accept means that if this risk occurs, and it is within the tolerance of the risk tolerance of the stakeholders, then we will decide to take the blunt of it. And then we will, if the damage is whatever, when the risk occurs, we are going to bear it. So that would be sustained. Program benefit management requires continuous interaction with the other performance domains throughout the program duration. And I'll just be showing you a diagram in which we will relate the benefit management cycle with the program life cycle, and you will see how we need to keep a continuous interaction with other domains, with life cycle, with governance, with stakeholders and all that. Interactions are cyclic in nature and generally begin top down during early phases of the program and bottom up in later phases. Top down means that when I am entering into the benefit management domain, I will be probably following the traditional program life cycle. So I am inheriting the effects of the program life cycle. This is a top down approach. And later on, when the benefit delivery has picked up the pace, then probably it is going to be bottom up. The impacts of the benefit delivery would actually be translated to the program life cycle. So the benefits delivery will be then impacting the program life cycle. For example, program strategy alignment in conjunction with program stakeholder engagement provides the critical inputs, parameters to the program, including vision, mission, strategic goals and objectives, and the preliminary business case that defines the program benefits. So, as a result of program strategy alignment and using the program stakeholder engagement, we are able to define the program benefit. So, basically, what are we doing? We are doing the benefit management, and we have used strategic alignment and stakeholder engagement during the planning phase in the starting area. So therefore, there is a lot of interaction throughout the life cycle of the program between various domains. Program performance data are evaluated through program governance. When the program, when we are actually realizing the benefits, are delivering the benefits, then is the role of monitoring, and program governance is directly associated with the monitoring of the program. So program governance comes into play, and that ensures that the program will produce its intended benefits and outcomes. So governance and benefit management is working hand in hand. This is the diagram I was actually mentioning. We have seen this before as well. What does it show? On top, on top, it is telling me, it is giving me the program life cycle. Program life cycle, I have three major phases: program definition, program delivery, and program closure. In program definition, there are two parts: program formulation and program planning. So this is happening during the program, and the program benefit is spread over the life cycle of the program. And what is happening as far as the program is concerned, benefit is concerned, first benefits are identified, then analyzed and planned, then delivered, then transitioned, then sustained. So all this is happening during the program life cycle. So benefit identification and part of analysis and planning might be happening during definition. And program delivery can be directly associated with or compared with the benefit delivery, but because some of the components will be the incremental benefits, if at all we are delivering the incremental benefits, so they will start the program closure things like benefit transition and sustainment right from the delivery. Therefore, benefit transformation is being overlapped by the program delivery. So as soon as benefit delivery starts, benefit transition can immediately follow that. And transition can further be succeeded or gives rise to the sustainment. The transition and sustainment is generally considered to be the program closure. So program closure is somehow related with the benefit transition and benefit sustainment, but benefit transition can be during the program delivery as well if it is incremental delivery. So what do we do in each one of these 5 steps of benefit management? When the benefits are being identified, we are trying to identify and qualify the benefits. So this, yes,
I think my machine is about to go off. I have about, the message coming up that I need to plug it in.
okay,
So,
okay. So I think we should call it a day then, and we can start from next Tuesday our time and Monday your time, Julian. Is it
Yes.
okay? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, and see you on the next class. Take care.
Thank,
thank
thank you. Have a good one.